questions for Woody.
Woody, obviously, we know you can't discuss anything, but in a situation like that where, you kind of are in limbo and scratched from the lineup, blah, 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 how do you not let that spill over into the game? And same goes for your team.
It's tough. I don't honestly know. I mean, I think everybody handles it in their own way, but just try to obviously come in the dugout, and we got a game to win. I think the guys did a good job. I felt like in the dugout it was good energy, good positive energy. Jordan kind of set the tone with the way he performed, and we're facing a pretty good pitcher in Mad Bum. I know he's not the Mad Bum of old, but he's still obviously really good. So I think that just the game itself kind of forced everybody. I think now is when everybody's going to kind of think more about it. In game it's a little easier because there's something to focus on. But once the game's over, that's when it gets a little bit tough.
Are you seeing, I asked Jordan about like kind of the progress that he's seeing, pleased with the start tonight, obviously. Yep. Do you feel like he's putting things together to build upon?
Absolutely. I mean, to get this strong late in the season, I mean, he was like 94, 95 consistently the whole game. He ran into a little trouble in the seventh, but still pitched his way out of it. Only gave up the homer, the one, to Peralta, that was it. I mean, I'm looking at my card, I'm like, geez, this would have been a perfect game. If it wasn't for that one, hanging slide. And listen, he didn't have to hit a homer on that. It's just a little bit unlucky, but I mean, to get through 6 the way he did, and then obviously to get through 7, he's been really good lately. His tempo, his stuff, everything's been playing really well, really up, and it's nice to see that, later on into the season too. Most guys are starting to deteriorate a little bit, and he's actually getting a little bit better, I feel like, as the season goes.
Thanks, Woody.
Evan Grant.
Hey, when did you put up a new lineup? I mean, I know when we got the announcement that he was scratched, but how far ahead of time did you let the guys know that there was going to be a lineup change?
I don't know, 15, 20 minutes before, I guess. I was a little somewhat informed before that. Kind of let Jason Martin know that he would be if we did make a change. But the actual change itself, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes before the game.
Woody, you said there was good energy in the dugout. I know everybody's trying to be professional in that situation and move forward, but like, was there anything palpable in terms of reaction immediately?
I think there's shock. I think some guys are, I think everybody, listen, his name's been, there's been names thrown out, on our roster for a while now, so I don't think anybody's really surprised by anything, potentially happening. But I think when it does happen, I think it's just kind of like, oh, wow, it just happened. So, I mean, it was more, a tiny bit of shock, but then that kind of goes away because you realize, wow, okay, this probably was in the works for a while, most likely to happen. So, as a player, you start thinking a little bit, it sucks. It's somebody, you share your locker with and teammate with, and obviously a guy that, we coach and, we build relationships with as well. So it always hurts no matter who it is, but especially a guy like that.
Thanks, man.
Chris.
With a guy like Nate Lowe stepping up and getting a big hit, especially given the circumstances, what does that do not only for his confidence but your confidence in him?
Yeah, no, I mean Nate's been better. Yesterday had a good game, obviously, and today, same thing. The last bat he's tough. I know Clippard's ball moves all over the place, but the previous bats left on left. He'd never faced Mad Bum before. That's a difficult at bat for a lefty. The ball's coming basically from first base. So for him to kind of go up there and, I thought the first bat he went up and attacked him, which I loved, and then the big hit in the second at bat, to get us on the board. But yeah, I mean Nate's gonna, I think he's willing to do that. He wants to be the guy to kind of fill in some bigger shoes. I'm kind of hoping he does.
Having the big hit, big double, and kind of same thing for him. Obviously, he's been struggling over the last month or so. What are your expectations of him, or what do you expect him to do over the final 2 months of the season?
Yeah, it's a big 2 months for him. I think to kind of, he's obviously put himself on the map. He's an all-star. A ton of positives up to this point, but the one thing I will challenge him on is, he has to finish this thing out. And listen, I've seen guys that made all-star teams and and they can't sustain that success. And he's definitely got the talent. He's definitely got the intelligence. He's, I think right now he's got that mental grind kind of going, which a lot of our guys are going through, but especially him. He looks at himself as high expectations, and to maintain that, it's a lot. It feels like a lot of pressure for him every day. But he's just going to kind of get back to what he did earlier on, and stay to the middle of the field, stay in the strike zone. I think is a big one for him. So it's going to be a challenge for him, obviously, the rest of the year. He's probably going to be a little bit fatigued, both mentally and physically, and he's got to find a way to still be productive. But I have a ton of faith in the kid. Like I said, he's got a great head on his shoulders. He's always asking the right questions, doing the right drills. So hopefully he'll kind of find that stroke again.
Anything else for Woody? Okay. I will tell you, if something does happen, we will probably do something very quickly. So I don't know what to tell you until you may be